2020 has been a very strange year, and it is now time to look back at this very unique year in the history of our generation and try to find the good things, the positive things that were part of our lives. There's so much negativity out there, but I believe that if you look carefully, you can find 10 good things in your 2020. Hi, this is Vojko Michnia. Welcome to Crossroads Psychology. I'm a Beijing-based psychology teacher from Romania, currently also engaged in a postgraduate program at the Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience at King's College, London. In this video, I want to share with you 10 extraordinary things that happened in 2020 at a personal level. I took some notes here on my iPad, and I want to share with you 10 amazing, positive, extraordinary things that happened to me and hopefully encourage you to also think about your 2020 and try to find those positive, uplifting moments so that we can start 2021 on a positive, on a good note, in good spirits, so that we can also end 2021 on a positive note. I'll be referring to my notes from time to time, but here are the 10 extraordinary things that I believe, looking back at 2020, have happened to me. At number 1, I am healthy and alive. I think if you're watching this, we have to acknowledge the fact that we are lucky and blessed to be alive today. And if you're healthy, we are one of the luckiest alive today, because there has been so much tragedy in 2020 with this pandemic, and there's been so much suffering and death, and there have been so many negative feelings and negative thoughts and negative events that have taken place all over the world. So it's good to acknowledge the fact that we are alive, and if you're healthy, then it is something to be grateful for. And I am really, truly grateful to be alive during this historic moments, but also some very, very tough moments in the history of our generation. So at number 1, I am healthy and alive, and I am grateful for that. At number 2, this is slightly related to number 1. I have a job, I am employed, and I receive a salary. There has been so much tragedy since the pandemic has started. And I know that many people have lost their jobs. Many people have gone through their savings. Many people are unemployed. So I think if you have a job, if you have the financial means to sustain yourself, you should be grateful for it and you should acknowledge it. And if you can afford, then maybe you should think about extending your help to those in need. Maybe someone in your family or in your extended family, or maybe your close friends, or maybe just help someone in need. Because we have to acknowledge the fact that 2020 has been a tough year from a financial point of view for many. And I am grateful to have been able and have made the good decisions to return to China, continue my job here as a psychology teacher at an international school in Beijing, and move on with my life, and also be one of those lucky people who were able to maintain their full jobs, their full salaries, and to maintain their employment. At number 3, I think it is very important for me to acknowledge that I was very quick to adapt to the new situation. Obviously, I'm a teacher, and when I returned to China in February 2020, our school has already started preparing for a switch to online teaching, and I am maybe one of the lucky teachers who has made the transition smoothly and very fast, and that my students got used to the new platforms, and we were able as teachers to make sure that grade 12 graduated and they moved on to their university studies. So I believe it is very important for us to always keep an open mind, an open heart, and adapt ourselves to the new requirements of whatever 2021 will bring us. And maybe 2020 was like a rough warm-up. If we did not adapt fast enough, then we suffered along the year. But I believe by now, if we are working remotely, then we have adapted and settled into this new situation where remote work has become as important, as effective as office work. Luckily for us here in China, our schools are open, we go to classes, we see the students face to face, and we're able to teach our students in a more traditional way. But I believe that I am ready, my school is ready, and many schools in China are ready to switch just like that to online teaching in case the situation is again unsafe for the students, for our teaching staff, for the people involved in the educational bubble, in the educational community. So I'm grateful and I'm happy that I was able to adapt fast to the new situation imposed by this pandemic. At number 4, in a way, I am happy that I was under lockdown. I am happy that I was in quarantine because I had more time to read. This year, I read way more books. In 2020, I read way more books than I read in 2019 and in 2018. But I have not yet reached my personal record of 50 books. But still, I used this quarantine time, this extra time that I had at home to read. And I read a bunch of stuff from literature to research, to papers, to textbooks, to science fiction, to essays. And I really loved, catching up with the reading I was, planning to do, but always something came up and did not manage to finish my reading assignments and also read for pleasure for myself. So I'm very happy that I read a lot in 2020. I'm happy that I used quarantine time and these lockdowns productively. And I hope that in the future we can all read more. And if we are in a lockdown situation, let's read a book. Let's read more. Let's read many books. And maybe reading a novel, a textbook, reading a research paper takes us away from the madness that we are exposed to on the internet and social media with all these conspiracy theories, election problems, and all the negative elements that, cram social media and the internet and mass media in general. At number 5, I think it's very important to acknowledge the fact that I remained mentally and physically healthy. And I know many people struggle with their emotions, with their mental health. Many people struggle with their health during the quarantine because of the lack of activity they're involved in. But I believe that we can improve our mental health by reading more stuff that we like and not allow the internet, social media to control our thoughts and our emotions and our feelings. And when we read the things that we love, we create positive emotions, and these emotions can help with our mental health. Also, by now I believe everybody has realized that you don't need to go to the gym to be healthy. And there are so many follow tutorials, so many, courses online, free courses online that you can follow. Yeah, like a workout routine, like a 5-minute video on like doing some home exercises. So honestly, there is no excuse not to stay healthy in 2021. Even if we're stuck at home on lockdowns or in quarantines, we can easily, and I say easily, maintain our physical health. Simple exercises in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, a few push-ups here, doing some movement exercises, following a tutorial on YouTube or anywhere else, getting together face-to-face, online, FaceTime with a friend and doing some exercises together. There is literally no excuse not to maintain our physical health. And I'm happy and grateful that I was able to maintain both my mental health and my physical health in 2020. At number 6, I'm very grateful and happy that I continued my Chinese calligraphy practice. As you probably have understood, I live in China, and in 2019, around October, I started calligraphy lessons with a Chinese master here in Beijing. In February, I went back home to my country in Romania to change my passport and do some paperwork. And when I came back, obviously I was in quarantine, and then, there were travel restrictions, so I could not go back to my calligraphy lessons. But that was not an excuse not to practice the skills, the calligraphy skills that I have learned during my 2-3 months with my master. So I continued my practice, and it is very important to dedicate time for your hobbies, for your passions, and engage in these hobbies and passions, because these help you both with your skill in whatever you're pursuing, but also with your mental health. So I'm grateful that I met this Chinese calligraphy master, that he taught me with passion, and that I love this new skill, this new hobby of mine, and I continued the practice in Chinese calligraphy. At number 6, this is something new. Through Chinese calligraphy, I have also discovered Chinese traditional inkwash painting, basically using the same kind of brushes with a very, very soft tip that we use in calligraphy. You use them to create inkwash painting in the Chinese aesthetical thought. And I discovered Chinese art, and I love it, and my teacher is really passionate. I found a teacher, and I'm studying, I'm practicing, I'm learning new skills, new art skills every day. And I'm grateful for 2020 that from calligraphy I segued into Chinese art. And I encourage everyone to find a hobby, to find a passion for 2021. Something that really speaks to your heart, something that you really love or have always wanted to do, but you never had the time, or you never had, the motivation to do it. Now is the time to engage in these hobbies. 2021, make it the year when you are ready to start pursuing your interest. At number 8, I started to learn my first Chinese traditional instrument. And this relates to the previous 2 points. So the instrument that I'm learning right now is guqin. the quintessential Chinese traditional instrument, the only instrument that is purely 100% Chinese made. Historically, it is the first instrument ever created, produced, invented in China. Just think of some kung fu movies and the music that they play in the background that is usually played by this instrument called guqin. And how I discovered this instrument? Well, I discovered it while I was doing my calligraphy lessons with my Chinese master, and there was something that there was no flow during one session, and my teacher said, like, you need to calm down, you need to let the brush and keep your hands steady, but at the same time your wrists flexible. Don't rush, don't press too hard. Oh, why don't you listen? Try to follow this music. So I listened to this new music and I really felt a strong connection with these sounds. So I asked the master, what music is this? And he explained to me that this is the instrument that is really loved by people who do calligraphy and Chinese painting. And I came home, I put in YouTube guqin, and I just let YouTube do their recommendations, and I fell in love with the instrument. And at the end of last year, I finally found, actually no, I didn't finally find, I finally took the time and made the decision to go to a music school and start my guqin lessons. And I have already ordered my instrument, and I can't wait to continue my studies, my practice, and to learn how to play this wonderful instrument. So the previous 3 extraordinary things that happened in 2020 on a personal level are all related to the core passion that I have for art, for Chinese calligraphy, for Chinese musical sounds. And I think it is important in 2021 for me to continue with these passions, with these hobbies. They're more than hobbies, they're a passion, they're a consuming passion. And I hope that you can also find your passion, and sometimes through a hobby, through a passion, you can segue into maybe a new interest, and you discover new things that you're excited, or you can become excited about. At number 9, I have to be grateful for the fact that I had quite a few, professional successes in my job as a teacher, and my students did great in both their final examinations, in their external AP exams, in their IB exams. Some went to very good universities, and I'm glad that, I did my part and had a small contribution towards their success, and me feeding on their success and having all these positive thoughts and feelings and joy of going to work and knowing that my work is meaningful. It is very important to engage in 2021 in meaningful work. And now I know that the economy around the world is not great, and maybe we cannot pick our favorite jobs, or we are not in a situation where we can pick and choose. But if possible, try to engage in something meaningful, because if you engage in something that is meaningful to you, you will also enjoy it. And if you're lucky enough to be in a professional environment, you will also have good professional success. And at number 10, and this is kind of strange, I made 2 new friends. And I'm a bit weird when it comes to friends. I don't call friends everyone. I believe that a true friend is not that easy to find or to keep or to maintain a relationship with someone and call that person a true friend. It takes effort, both on your side and also on the other person's side. So I made a new friend here in Beijing, and also very strange. I never thought I would be able to call someone that I have not met face to face a friend, but I did meet a very interesting person online, and we have similar passions, similar interests, and we became friends. And you know, the funny thing is that I have to give credit to him as the person who reached out and who became my friend, and now we are friends. And I never thought that you can have a true friendship online. And this is something I am planning to pursue in 2021. I believe that it is better to have fewer friends, but real, true friends, than to have 400, 250, 10 friends, but all are just like, at a very superficial level. A good friend, how do you know if you have a good friend? Well, a good friend is someone who can be happy for your successes, who can listen to you and be joyful for all your successes, but at the same time, a true friend is someone who can listen to your problems, who can listen to your sadness, who can listen to your sorrow and offer a shoulder to cry on, one, but also not judge you. Take you for who you are, with not being judgmental and accepting you the way you are. That is the mark of a true friendship. Once again, someone you can talk to, someone who's happy for you, but also someone who can listen to your problems and not judge you for anything. So these were the 10 extraordinary things that have happened to me in 2021, and I wish that you will also start a list of 10, 7, 5, 3 good things that took place in your life in 2020 and take them with you to 2021. Pursue that which gives you positivity, which gives you good feelings, which gives you pleasure, both spiritual, emotional, and intellectual. So I hope that this video inspires everyone, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments down below. Please do let me know in the comment section what was 1, 2, 3 extraordinary things, extraordinary good, positive things that had happened to you in 2020. So if you're interested in the application of psychology in real life and how we can guard and improve our mental health, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Voicu Mihnea signing off from Beijing. Goodbye.